Hello, everybody. It is Rebecca Davison, intuition coach and founder of the Intuitive Life Academy. I'm here with the amazing Matt Jones. Welcome, Matt.
Hey, thanks, Beck. It's good to be here.
Yeah, so I'm going to interview Matt today for his part in the Intuitive Living Workshop, but I have actually referred to Matt as kind of like the Gary V of being a serial entrepreneur, and also that your business has grown exponentially as the CEO of Advanced Safety.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're at that point where you're opening up other businesses like business leaders, etc. So it's just been phenomenal to see your growth in such a short period of time and your enthusiasm for entrepreneurship.
Thank you. Thank you. That actually means quite a lot. For those who aren't aware of Gary Vee, he's a really big player in America and overseas now. And I think a lot of his success comes from providing as much value as possible with no expectation of return, which is quite counterintuitive and something I would like to talk a little bit about during this session. Yeah, cool. Thanks.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So I'm going to set the timer because you know the deal. It's 7 minutes already.
Yep.
Starting now. So first question, of course, is what do you see as the biggest challenge for people when it comes to entrepreneurship?
Yep, and I think straight away it is the fear of being found out, or the imposter syndrome. So we actually saw I can't remember his surname, Israel, the very famous martial arts expert in the mixed martial arts world, and he's probably the most prolific fighter in New Zealand and overseas. And so he just won the Businessman Awards for New Zealand this year. Not Businessman, Sportsman of the Year award. And his speech was all about the tall poppy syndrome that New Zealand seems to really be struggling under the weight of. And I think it's something that if we want to really succeed and reach our full potential, we just need to push that away and just realize that actually we're all making it up as we go along, really. I mean, obviously you need to do the hard yards. You need to learn your trades and what it is that gets you up in the first thing in the day. But ultimately, you can't let that stop you from really pushing and seeing how far you can take it.
Absolutely, it's one thing that you are very good at, turning up the dial.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's your number one tip then to address that challenge that people face?
I think developing a great network of supporters is one top tip. So finding your tribe. So it doesn't necessarily have to be your best mates, and even members of your family. It's people that perhaps have been there and done that already. So often you may have heard the phrase that you are the person that you spend most time with. So if you want to get to that next level, if you want to be a multi-millionaire, then you need to start knocking on the doors of those that have already been there and are already experiencing that lifestyle.
Yeah, it's all about integrating it. Yeah, totally on point. I love it.
Yeah.
So in your own journey, what's been your biggest insight, aha, awareness? I know that's probably a hard question to answer because there's multiple. But
I'll just pull out the list. I think the first and foremost thing that springs to mind is the time when I set up Advanced Safety. So just about 3 years ago, I went out by myself. I'd already spent several years learning my trade, my craft in the world of health and safety. And I launched Advanced Safety and realized that if I waited for someone with an official title or an official body to give me the recognition that I felt like I deserved, I'd probably be waiting a very, very long time. Health and safety, unfortunately, is a very unregulated industry. So in terms of authorities and bodies that could certify me, there aren't very many around. And the ones that are around all tend to be owned and operated by a particular part of society, which is generally older white men who I don't particularly have a great deal of time for. So I decided, okay, I'm going to actually put my feet on the ground and say that I am a professional. I've been doing this for a number of years. I know what I'm doing. Don't put all of that authority into the hands of others who may not ever give you that moment in the limelight. Take it and make it yours and own it. And the market and your customers will decide whether your services are good enough, and allow that to be your fuel, your ammunition.
Yeah, that's huge, right? Because in my world, I would probably call that permission, right?
Mm,
Permission granted to walk through
yes.
the door, to be in your own authority.
Hmm.
Amazing. Amazing.
Yeah.
So tell me why people, we're up to 4 minutes, so we're doing great. Tell me why people should come see you at the Intuitive Living Workshop.
Well, I'd like to think that I'm bringing a sense of realism. So it's often I've been to talks and big shows where you hear people tell their stories on stage, but you don't get a sense of authenticity, or even a sense that they have even run successful businesses themselves.
Mhm.
Often the picture's painted that everything worked really, really well. Just follow my way of doing it. Give me your money, and away you go. I have been there. I've done that. I've made those the same pitfalls that everyone else does, but have come out better for it. So part of my story that I will be telling is some of those real truths, and some of those things that people don't talk about when they're setting up businesses, and how I personally overcome those, and how I know that some of those tricks and tips that I've picked up along the way will have a massive impact on those that come to see us on the day. So I want to, and I will, leave the audience with tools and tips which they can implement straight away,
Mhm.
and I am confident we'll see the positive effects of in a very short space of time.
Awesome. Yay, I love it. That sounds very succinct. So, what should I have asked you that I haven't so far?
Ooh, yeah, I've been trying to think of a good answer to this. Maybe it's along the lines of what keeps me going. So, 3 years ago, I set up one business. 3 years ago, I had 3 children.
Mhm.
Now, today, I've got several businesses and I have 5 children, and it's a very, very busy lifestyle. And it would be very easy for me to just hide under my covers and not want to get out of bed in the morning. So I guess the question would be, what keeps me going? And for me, it's the feedback that I get from the people that I'm serving and working with,
Mhm.
but it's also the feedback from the people who are tuning in and listening to that free, valuable content that I'm putting out there.
Mhm.
So often when I'm asked, gosh, how do you manage all of that? It's, well, I manage it by being open to feedback, both good and bad,
Mhm.
and using that as my fuel.
Yeah, yeah, and that requires a certain level of vulnerability, also confidence to be able to receive what may be perceived as more critical feedback, but
Hmm.
then to take the goodness out of that and to implement it to and get better and better and better. I really respect that.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Skill set. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
You've got 15 seconds left. Totally nailed this. So, anything else you want to say before we wrap up?
Or just very quickly, if you want to see me or reach out to me, or talk on any points that I've raised, you can find me at advancedsafety.co.nz, or on Facebook under New Zealand Health and Safety Professionals.
Perfect. I'll look forward to seeing you on the 14th. Matt, thank you so
Awesome.
much.